What's going on YouTube? It's Joe Moore here and I'm alongside Cotton Films. Be sure to hit that subscribe button below. I'm going to be uploading a lot more content on the channel, and also be sure to go over to Cotton's YouTube and subscribe to him as well. I'll have a link down below going to his YouTube channel. He's a filmmaker like myself and does a lot of great music videos, tutorials, how-tos, just everything filmmaking in general, just like myself. So be sure to subscribe to us both and stay up to date with the new content. So this video is going to cover a topic that I've actually been asked a lot about from the fans and from people that follow me on social media. It's should you go to film school, or is being self-taught efficient enough to make it in this industry? So for this conversation, I went to film school. I actually got a degree in electronic media and film with a minor in audio engineering, and Cotton was self-taught and has become successful in the film industry being self-taught and not going to school. So for this conversation, I'll be doing the pros and cons of going to college, and Cotton will be giving his pros and cons of being self-taught in this industry.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Cotton. For those of you that don't know who I am, my name is Christopher Jared Cotton. I am a self-taught filmmaker from Birmingham, Alabama. I'm talking about 100% self-taught. Never have I ever stepped foot on any kind of campus. Everything has come through the power of Google, YouTube, Shane's Inner Circle, and a few mentors. I really feel like in today's day and age, you really don't have to go to film school. There are some pros to going to film school. You get to be around a lot of other filmmakers doing similar things. You get to network, and you get to have more people to work on projects with. But as far as just learning skill, if you have the discipline, if you have the time, and you're really dedicated and driven, you really don't have to go to film school. It's just about how bad you want it and how far you're willing to go to get the knowledge you need to be successful.
If you don't have the money to be able to get the equipment, when you go to film school, you're able to have that equipment. You're able to have access to that equipment and shoot projects and shoot anything that you want to do with that camera, with the mics, with whatever equipment that school is offering. You're able to utilize and to have at your disposal going to that school. That's something that being self-taught you won't have access to. You have to be able to either go rent the equipment or you have to go buy the equipment. The other thing is when you go to film school, you have other like-minded creative people around you, so it's way easier to collaborate. It's way easier to shoot projects. It's way easier to do everything in general related to film because you have other people that are trying to do the same thing as you. When you're self-taught, depending on where you are, depending on the kind of friends you have or the kind of business relationships you have, you may not have access to those kind of people. It may just be you, and you have to learn everything on your own. When you go to film school, you're usually being taught by people that are in the film industry and that have accolades and have a resume in the film industry. So you're getting taught by people that have the experience, that have the background to be able to teach these things, and that obviously have the resume to back that up. So they're teaching you basically everything that they know, or they're teaching you what they've learned from being in the industry. Finally, when you go to film school, they usually require you to have a final project for you to be able to graduate. Now, what they usually do with that is you're required to take everything that you learned from the years of going to this school and apply it to a final project. When you do a final project with these schools, it's basically taking everything that you learned from these schools and applying it into the final project. That's for whether it be video, audio, photo, whatever visual related content it is. You have to apply all that knowledge you learned from the school and put it into a final project, whether that be a short video, a music video. It all just depends on what school you're going to and what they require for the final project.
Before I start giving you all of the pros about being a self-taught filmmaker, let's go ahead and get all the cons out of the way. The first con about being a self-taught filmmaker is that the information just isn't handed to you like it would be if you did go to film school. You actually have to get up off your lazy butt, get on the internet, type on Google, whatever you want to learn, and spend a lot of time searching for it. When you go to film school, they're gonna hand you a curriculum, they're gonna tell you what you gotta do, everything's shaped and molded for you. You just gotta listen to what they're telling you to do, go to where they're telling you to go, and do it that way. Self-taught, it's a lot different. Like I said, there's so many people that don't know what they're talking about versus that do know what they're talking about, so you actually have to sort through all of the BS to find the reliable information. But if you keep looking, I promise you it's out there. The second con is definitely gonna have to be that collaborations are not gonna be as easy to come by. When you go to film school, you're literally trapped in a box full of hundreds of people that are readily available to collaborate at hand. When you're doing everything by yourself, you're more than likely starting off in a small town. You're gonna be all by yourself unless you got somebody like your brother or your best friend, but more than likely you're gonna be all by yourself, sitting here having to do every job from gripping to gaffing to DPing, to directing, all by yourself. When you're going to film school, you literally have, just like I said, hundreds of people that are ready to take any one of these roles and play a part and play a role on your team. And a team is a big part of the film production. Like when you start moving up, there's really levels to it. And as you progress, as you get better and better, you're gonna wanna put a team together. And when you go to film school, you have that at your disposal. When you're doing everything self-taught, you have to use the power of the internet to find your collaborations, which is a lot harder and definitely not as easy when you're first getting started and you're just starting to build your work up. The last con about being a self-taught filmmaker is you're gonna have to find ways to fund your equipment all by yourself. When you're going to film school, more than likely they're gonna have a room full of equipment that you're gonna have access to the whole time you're attending the school. When you're self-taught, you literally have to fund every piece of equipment that you use all by yourself, whether it be a $2,000 camera, a $1,000 lens, a $5,000 light. You have to find ways to come up with that cash, cha-ching, and make it happen. And it's just not cheap, it's not easy. If you're making your first film, you don't even know if this is what you want to do 10 years from now, and it's just not cheap. So when you go to film school, you have the luxury of having all the equipment at your disposal for free.
All right guys, so let me go ahead and tell you some of the cons about going to film school. So the number one and the biggest con about going to film school is obviously the money. Now, as Cotton said, as a con for being self-taught, you have to spend all of your money on equipment and you don't know if you're gonna ever see an investment back on that, or you don't even know if that's gonna be your career or path that you wanna follow. You're gonna have a $20,000 to $100,000 tuition that you have to pay back. Yes, you're going to school and yes, you're having all of these accessibilities that you wouldn't have being self-taught, but you're still gonna have to pay for it. You're gonna have to pay for it one way or another.
So it kind of balances out.
Now, like I said, I went to Towson University and they offered a film school within that university. That's gonna be a little bit cheaper than, say, if you go to somewhere like Full Sail or NYU or a place that really is specifically only for film school. You're talking about $50,000 to $100,000 every year. That'll add up very quickly. Keep this in mind too. You're not gonna have a job right out of the gate 90% of the time. Most people, when they get out of film school, they have to go and apply for jobs just like everybody else. While they're trying to apply for these jobs, they still have this student loan that's hanging over their head of $20,000 to $100,000, sometimes even more. Now, $20,000 to $100,000 debt, or sometimes even more, is very stressful to somebody just getting out of college. Nobody wants to think about that. I've said it in previous videos before, and it's a quote I think that Kanye West said: "College sets you up to fail before you even begin." When you get out of college, you still have to find a job just like everybody else. Just because you went to college doesn't mean somebody's just gonna hand you a job. The film industry is actually more cutthroat and competitive than a lot of these other businesses that you'll apply for a job. Also, these same people that you went to school with and that you were collaborating with and that you were being creative with, most of the time they're gunning for the same type of jobs. They want to do the same thing in this field. So while it's a pro when you're going to school, it becomes a very big con as well when you get out of school and you all are trying to get a job in the film industry. Now, another con with going to film school is a film school lays out everything that you're gonna do. They have a lesson plan from the time that you get to the school until you graduate. When you step out into the real world and you step out into that film industry, anything goes. Now, as Cotton said, when you're self-taught, you have to teach everything on your own. You have to go find everything, you have to research, you have to do all this on your own because you don't have somebody teaching you and you don't have a lesson plan laid out. In my opinion, that actually will probably help you more in the long run because you had to spend that time researching. You had to really be passionate about what you were trying to learn or find out in order to become successful in whatever you were trying to apply to film, to photo, etc. When you go to film school and they're laying everything out for you and you're just following a specific lesson plan, it kind of leads you to be lazy compared to if you're self-taught, teaching everything on your own and having to go out and find this knowledge that isn't just right there in front of you. So as I said, a con to going to film school is they lay everything out for you. As opposed to being self-taught, you have to teach this knowledge to yourself. You have to go and research the same things that would have been just provided to you and handed to you had you went to film school.
My favorite thing about being a self-taught filmmaker is definitely going to be I don't have to follow a motherfucking rule. I hate rules. Grew up hating them, still hate them, will always hate them. Being a self-taught filmmaker, I really just get to hone in on my own creativity. I get to do my own thing, explore all these different avenues, different paths, and find myself. I don't have a bunch of teachers saying, don't break the 180-degree rule. Shoot a close-up with an 85mm. I don't have nobody telling me what the crap to do. If I want to break the hell of the 180-degree rule and turn that to a 720, I'm gonna turn it into the 720. And I don't even think that exists, but I'm gonna find a way to create it. just have all these creative possibilities that would be taken away from me and swept out from under my foot if I was going to film school. The second thing that I absolutely love about being a self-taught filmmaker is that I get to learn at my own pace. I don't have anyone breathing down my neck telling me I have a deadline to do this or a deadline to do that. While I'm learning and I'm acquiring new skills, I literally just get to figure it out. I can mess up as many times as I want to. I said I don't have any deadlines to turn it into. I'm not getting graded. I'm not having somebody judge me. And again, it goes back to being able to be me, find myself, and really hone in on what I'm trying to do and accomplish as a filmmaker. As Joe said before, going to film school can get super expensive. You can be spending anywhere from 80 to 100 grand or even more. So you have to really ask yourself, would you rather go 80 grand in debt to go to school and borrow some equipment and get a little bit of knowledge? Or would you rather be self-taught and spend that $80,000, go in the same debt, but own all of your own filmmaking equipment?
So you have to ask yourself, is it worth it to go to film school in the current era that we're in right now? We're in the social media era where you can go online and find anything on YouTube or Google, and if they don't offer anything or they don't have the answer to what you're looking for, it probably doesn't exist. When I was coming up and right as I was getting ready to go to college, there wasn't the same amount of knowledge and information offered through a YouTube or Google or website platform that there is now. Right now you can go on YouTube and look up people like Cotton, myself, ycimaging, C. Ryan, just to name a few people that are teaching you how to do the same things that you would have to spend $20,000 to $100,000 or more going to a college to learn from a professor. And to be quite honest with you, I think on YouTube and Google and these other websites that offer knowledge, I think they're teaching you more than the professors at the schools. Let's put things into perspective. You're watching this on YouTube right now, trying to learn about should you go to film school or not. This video doesn't cost anything on YouTube. It's free. You're getting all this knowledge for free right now. What do you think a school would charge you right now if you had to watch this in school? Put that into perspective. Think about that. You're on here right now on YouTube watching the video of us tell you our conversation about self-taught versus going to film school for free. It doesn't cost you anything. You just saved all this money. So in my opinion, is it worth it to go to film school in this current day and age? No. Save your money or use that same money that you were gonna use to go to college and put that into your craft and your career, buying equipment and spending it on whatever you need to do for your career.
Like Joe said, I'm gonna have to agree with him 100%. In today's day and age where all of this knowledge is readily available to anyone and everyone, film school is not gonna be worth it unless you are 100% just some rich, spoiled kid that has a whole lot of money to waste and they want that little bit of extra networking and being able to collaborate, then go for it. But if you're somebody that's not got a whole lot of money, every dollar counts, every investment matters, do not go to film school. Be self-taught, be disciplined, be dedicated, be driven, work hard, spread love and positivity, and I promise you, you'll go straight to the top. Alright guys, we're gonna go ahead and wrap up this video. Make sure y'all follow us both on YouTube, both on Instagram. You can find me on YouTube, They Call Me Cotton, on Instagram at Cotton Films.
And you guys can follow me on my social media. My Instagram is at JoeMoore724. My Twitter is the same handle, at JoeMoore724. You are on my YouTube page right now. If you are not subscribed, hit that subscribe button.
Smash that subscribe button.
Smash that subscribe button. Hit the like button. Comment. Let us know what other conversations or topics you want to see me and Cotton collaborate on. We'll be doing a lot more content this year, collaborating with each other. Also, I'm going to leave a link down below on where you can go to subscribe to Cotton's channel. He's almost at 20,000 subscribers.
Giving away a camera at 25,000.
Camera 25,000. I may not give away a camera 25,000 subscribers, but I'm definitely going to be doing a great giveaway at 25,000.
Be sure to smash that subscribe button. Give this video a thumbs up. Drop us a comment. Share the video with all your friends. And we'll see you guys next time. Woo-wee.